Those who did abuse this unintended gameplay will receive a warning, be ineligible for end of season rewards, and have a permanent mark added to their accounts.
Tico has had a rough time the last few times he's come up to speak with us, but I gotta give Tico credit where credit's due. He always comes up to speak with the player base. He is honest with everybody, and he is genuine about listening to feedback. Like Black Desert Online devs and Pearl Abyss, like CM Team and all those, they'll bitch at you till you're blue in the face about how we listen to feedback this, and well, we appreciate your feedback that. Don't listen to Dick. Don't listen to Dick shit diddly. These do, and that's why we like it when Tico comes up and talks to us, because here's the deal. Even if Tico says something here that you don't necessarily like, there is a chance that he will, not only is he going to listen to you, but also they will adapt it to what the player base actually is requesting. And that is what I like so much about how Throne of Liberty handles things and how Amazon Game Studio has handled things. It's been top shelf. As far as I'm concerned, as far as like receiving player feedback and implementing that feedback into the game, this is best in genre. And so the fact that they come out and talk to us every single month with Tico Talks and Ion Silicium with GM Godspeed, like that, it's a huge W. You do not see that in other games, and they're certainly not as, when you do see it in other games, they're not nearly as transparent, and they definitely aren't reading all the YouTube comments or like the feedback on the video as much as everyone else does. So like they just do a stand-up job at this. I'm looking forward to see what Tico has for us this time.
I think this outfit gives me +3 charisma, but
There's just something I don't like.
I'll be honest. Is it just me? Or does Tico look hotter in a t-shirt? I'm not gay. Okay, I'll be the first one to tell you, I am not gay. But I actually think that he looks hotter in a t-shirt.
About it. I just, I wish I could keep that charisma, but, change my outfit.
all right.
Okay, bro, you think I pre-watched this shit? That's insane. Well, at least now we have the side-by-side comparison. Yeah, he does look better, by the way. That does not happen very often. Immediately proven correct. I'm just saying. He looks better like this. 100%.
There we go.
Gotta look good to feel good.
Yeah, bro, he looks better, man. Tell me he doesn't look better. Which Tico looks better? This one or this one? I think it's obviously the t-shirt, bro. I think it's the t-shirt every time.
All right. There we go.
Gotta look
Kind of
good to
crazy,
feel
bro.
good.
It's the
What's
guns. It is the guns. He's jacked. Look at this. Look at this bicep. The dude's an animal.
What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Tico Talks Throne and Liberty. My name's Tico, and I'm the Globalization Design Manager at Amazon Games for Throne and Liberty.
We love Tico.
Let's jump into
We love Tico, and Godspeed are absolute specimens.
today's topics. Let's start with our current top issue, addressing fair play in the game. Our approach when these situations arise is as follows. First, we analyze the overall impact, considering both short and long-term effects. Second, we weigh how quickly we can implement fixes against the risks of deploying minimally tested hotfixes. And finally, we determine appropriate actions against those who circumvented fair play.
This is extremely tactfully handled. Right now, the primary complaint of the Throne and Liberty community at large is the fact that, honestly, they're not bitching about the systems of the game almost at all. I mean, obviously we are, but like the biggest complaint that I hear most consistently in my community, the Throne and Liberty Reddit, other guilds coming to me, because I get stuff brought to me by everyone. The number one complaint is bugs, scripts, bots, and macros. Okay, and I lump this all in one category. Basically, exploits. That is the number one complaint across the board that I see most commonly in basically every Throne community that I'm a part of. He's handling this. The reason I say he's handling this tactfully is because he's like, here's our process for handling that. And now I bet your sweet bippies he's about to lay down the law on some.
recognizing there's no one-size-fits-all solution. For dimensional trials, we had two situations to address. First was players who abused positions where they could attack bosses without taking damage. These players unfairly received rune chests from clearing higher dimensional tiers. If you didn't abuse this unintended gameplay, we'll be sending you 600 precious rune chests, and you will still be able to earn the chests through dimensional trial tier rewards as normal. Those who did abuse this unintended gameplay will receive a warning, be ineligible for end of season rewards, and have a permanent mark added to their accounts.
You pussies! You pussies! Yep! Yes, sir! Oh my god! You can't spell stupid without spin. I'm just kidding. But like, straight up, all of those losers that were all like, Blue, you have to be doing this. Blue, you have to be doing this. I was like, I don't know, man. It seems kind of like an exploit. I don't really feel like exploiting the game. I don't think that's a good idea, right? Bro, all of you just worked way hard. I was wondering what the 600 rune chest. I was like, why do I have these in my inventory? Where did I get these? They just appeared in my inventory. I was like, oh shit. I'll just open them up. Easy. You know what I did for that? Nothing. Nothing. W. And to be clear, I don't think that anyone should have been banned over this. So a warning and a mark on their account and like basically rewarding everybody else that didn't do it was 100% the correct way to handle this. 100% the correct, and disqualifying them from the end of season rewards. Most important thing, in my opinion, because then all the people that played by the rules actually have a chance to get the end of season rewards, in my opinion. That's a W. This is a big W.
You may continue seeing these players on leaderboards temporarily while we work to remove them, but they will be removed before the
And they can't remove themselves. I guarantee you they're like, no!
season ends.
Fuck
The
you.
second issue involves some players receiving extra matchmaking boxes from dimensional trials unintentionally.
Huh?
This affected fewer than 100 players who received
I was gonna say, that seems like a bug.
only about 20 extra boxes per player on average, and no further actions are currently planned besides removing this bug from the game.
I think that's fair. That's small.
Part-time botters are players who legitimately play, but also run macros or bots to supplement gains while AFK.
Okay, so he's talking about the obsidian weapons, and this is an extremely delicate issue that I think is extremely important for it's also extremely important for the game. It's tremendously important for the game's longevity. You need to temporarily, these people do need temp bans, and you have to remove all of the obsidian on their accounts and all obsidian weapons from their account. You temp ban, remove all of the materials from their account, and then they can come back and play. Nobody needs, in my opinion, they don't need to be permanently banned, but unless they do that, people are going to be upset.
This is a form of unsupported gameplay, and we're issuing 3-day temporary suspensions to those who have violated our terms of service. These players will be ineligible for end of season rewards in both dimensional trials
and
arena, with permanent marks added to their accounts. Taking action against players
what? Tico, what? No shot. No way. All of them get off with a slap on the wrist like that. Dude, you didn't address. Oh, dude, this is so bad. Oh, this is so bad, bro. Because everyone's just going to go out and immediately start macroing it. If I was a normal player, I'm not joking. I'm trying unbiased, third party. If I was a normal player and I saw this, I'd be like, I'm just going to macro it. Get the weapon, take the 3-day ban, and walk away. Do you know why? It's because that weapon takes like 120 hours to get, at least, of active grinding. Okay? 3-day ban doesn't even cover, even if you grinded all 72 hours, you still wouldn't have the weapon. Like, dude, come on. Like, dude, that's why you have to take away Dude, you have to take away all of the obsidian on their account. Every single piece of obsidian on their account, whether it was, if they macroed any obsidian at all, you take all of the obsidian and all the weapons away. You have to. Otherwise, you just announced to the server that you are okay with people doing this. I understand that you just said, oh, well, we're not okay with this and we take it very seriously. Yeah, that's great. But actions speak louder than words in this case. If you don't take the obsidian off their account, you are directly going to encourage more people to do it because the punishment does not fit the crime. In this case, the crime is stealing 120 hours of gameplay. We'll say that obsidian weapons are 120 hours of gameplay, and that could be underselling it. But let's say it's 120 hours of active grinding. Okay? Those players are essentially getting that weapon for free without having to do anything or any active grinding themselves. So they're essentially getting 120 hours added to their life. And then you're taking away 72 hours. I don't know about you, but you just got a day of your life back. And you don't have to sit there and actively grind anything. You get to take some time off. I'm here laughing with my 3 obsidian weapons. There it is. What the f*** are we talking about? Tico, you guys got to remove you have to remove the obsidian. There is no way that people are happy about this. There's no way. If I go to Reddit right now, I guarantee you there's some post. Hold on. I could have sworn I saw a post about this. There's no way.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
So can stream in Discord. Good job, AGS. Oh, here we go. Now, please make sure to remove the botted weapons from those who receive the 3-day ban. True. No, I think that he will. I think that if he sees this, I think that he will understand why this is so important. This is such an important thing. Not sure if this was addressed at the Tico talk, but a common sense to have them removed and make these obsidian shards easier to obtain. Also true. So they need to be temp banned. The 3-day ban is fine. That's fine. Remove all the obsidian stuff from the account and make the obsidian shards easier for everyone else to actively get. Give everyone else the 3-day head start for playing by the rules. Obviously. W. That is all. Botters, please don't downvote me. Were the obsidian items taken away because people botted to get them? Yes, obsidian items were taken away because players botted to get them. Botting is a violation of our code of conduct and leads to penalties, including the removal of items obtained through such means. Okay, chat, I'm going to ask you to be brutally honest right now. If any of you macroed to get your weapons, can you please be honest? Did you get the weapon? Anybody that got 3-day banned in chat, did you get the weapon removed from your account too? They haven't removed them. There it is. So that's a load of shit. And to be clear, I double checked this with 2 people in my friend group. They all that both did it. I said, don't do that. That's a bad idea. They're going to punish you for it. They said, I don't care. And they did it anyway. They didn't have their weapons removed either. And to be clear, I didn't even know that they got banned. They didn't even tell me that they got banned. I just asked if their weapons got put. They said they got punished. And so I asked, did you get the weapons taken away? They said no. I was like, what? So they got 3-day banned, but again, they made way more than 3 days worth of time out of this. Tico, you got to take the full measure on this. Well, not necessarily a full measure, but you got to take their weapons and shit away from them. This is obviously a lie, by the way. I don't know. This Throne and Liberty support. This is sussy as by the way. There is no shot. This is trolling. This is not real. What are you texting the support team? What the That's trolling. But like, damn, man. Cordy weapons have been deleted. Black Anvil weapons have also been deleted. Well, there's a bunch of people that macroed for it in chat and they said they have it still. So no, that can't be the case. And he didn't, and I believe that if they did in fact take it away, Tico would have said that. You think that Tico didn't want those brownie points for punishing these shit cheaters? He would have 100% said it right there. I don't think they took the weapons away. People are on cope that they did. In fact, it's probably people that macro that don't want their weapons taken away. Yeah, I definitely got it taken away. Don't check.
using third-party PvP cheats has extra complexity to ensure we avoid penalizing legitimate players. Our work on this front continues, but we are committed to identify and take disciplinary action against these players, which will range from warnings to permanent bans.
Beautiful. Hopefully it's in time for the tournament. Good. That's good. That's a W right there. F these scripters, man. I'm telling you, one of the primary complaints I see is bugs, exploits, and scripting and macroing. It all falls into like the exploits category, bro. They address all this shit, people become a lot happier with the game.
Any further abuse related to dimensional trials, part-time botters, and PvP cheats will warrant an escalation of disciplinary action. Additionally, we will continue to refine our detection, which may lead to further disciplinary action against players who have previously or continue to abuse unintended gameplay. Finally, I want to acknowledge that we noticed a rare issue where 2 players from the EU region used a very extreme edge case to craft 9 Arc Boss weapons. Both users have been permanently banned, all items in question were removed, the issue was immediately fixed, and there was no impact to the in-game.
Do you see how he said the items were removed? Do you see how he said that? And that was for a fringe case of 2 players being stupid. You think he wouldn't have said that the items got removed? Also, that was the Giga Chad way to handle that. It's one thing to macro. It's one thing to macro the obsidian weapon, and it's another thing entirely to produce arc boss weapons that you're not supposed to be able to do. Arc boss weapons are far more valuable. We're talking about thousands of US dollars. Okay.
Game economy. Since taking action, we've reviewed all acquisitions of Arc Boss weapons and can confirm they were obtained legitimately. I want to also confirm that the increased number of Arc Boss weapons within the auction house is because the drops have been increased across the board due to the PvE instancing of these bosses during Peace Mode portals.
I'm really glad that they track that like really closely because it keeps those bosses rare and valuable to players. That's why I feel like the obsidian weapons are also extremely important for the exact same reason. They're not as rare as arc boss weapons, not by any stretch, but it's something that you can't even pay for this. You can just swipe to get the swipe to get arc boss weapons. Obsidian weapons is something that a player should work hard for and feel confident, like really proud of their achievement. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those things that, like, I grinded for this. I worked hard for this. And again, it devalues the work that players put in, like the actual work that players put in when you don't take away illegitimately obtained weapons.
We recognize that performance hasn't felt as steady since
We had to make sure we weren't losing too much money to dropping. No, I don't think that's it.
Andre's release. We're actively working on improvements with small adjustments during each maintenance. Our current focus is on unexpected FPS drops and desync issues affecting combat. This will remain a priority for the next several months as we continue making iterative improvements, and I want to thank you for your patience.
W. I wish that they could say that in BDO and I could actually believe them.
I want to touch on Tier 2 progression. We understand it is more demanding, and while most of our engaged players had sufficient materials to fully upgrade their gear, many players are struggling more than intended. To address that, next week on Ion Silesium, Godspeed will walk you through some exciting plans for weekly events throughout May to help fast-track your progression.
Thank God, man. I bought a bunch of gear, and I've been playing my ass off, or at least I was, and then I could only get the gear to level 6, so now I look like a idiot because now my gear, I have all the correct pieces, but they're all like level 7 because I look like a moron. Like, can we please give me a little bit more stones? It's a little ridiculous. Thank you.
These events will benefit all players in advancing.
Like, I want to be clear that I actually was further along than most players were when Talandre came out, right? Because I had maxed out, fully traded T1 gear. Basically, the only players that were further along than me were players that had their runes completed and had been stockpiling armor stones for T2 for the last like 3 months. And unless you had been doing that, you're just hopelessly, like, you're just hopeless, bro. It's going to take you months to get this shit leveled up. Like, I'm going to have to drain my shit to 0, max my shit out, drain it all the way to 0, probably 4 more times in order to get the materials I'm going to need to do this.
Their gear, while giving our hardcore players opportunities to work on second gear sets or unlocking gear sync slots. I do want to preview one event starting April 24th, the Loot Goblin Festival. For an entire week, a 15-minute Loot Goblin event will start every 3 hours, where loot goblins will spawn by the hundreds. They'll have enhanced rewards with things like solent, growth stones, crystals, playful morph, gear, nebula chest.
Where do these loot goblins spawn, by the way? Do they just spawn randomly in the world? Like while you're doing your contracts and stuff? Everywhere. Okay, the server doesn't say where they spawn. They just spawn as you walk around. Okay. Neat.
And more. Trait Resonance arrives on May 1st with important player-friendly changes. This feature adds an extra trait to your gear with no leveling requirement, but unlocks differently. You'll need to complete a piece's other traits first, and then unlock the additional trait slot using Trait Resonance stones. When this feature was first introduced, the game was in a different place with fewer vertical progressions.
I can't even barely catch up with the other shit that's going on. I am fully traded on all my gear, but Jesus. They spawn on the hour every 3 hours between 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. for 15 minutes. I see.
To avoid overburdening players, we're implementing 2 significant changes. First, you can immediately select your preferred trait instead of relying on random rolls. Second, we're substantially reducing costs. Random roll costs are decreased from 4 to 3 stones, and basic trait selection costs are decreased from 80 to 20 stones.
Please tell me that this is only for the resonance trait that they're adding, and I didn't waste all my trait unlock stones like an idiot a week before we got a patch that fixed it. Please do not tell me it's different currency. Okay, thank God. I was like, that doesn't look like the same currency. Thank God.
Do note that some items like Arc Boss weapons will have higher costs.
Fair.
For our controller players, on May 1st, I'm happy to let you know that you will now be able to edit your HUD. And now, for our community question. With the recent release of the weapon dye system, I want to know, which weapon would you want to see enabled for dyeing next?
All of them. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Honestly, I want the boob slider to be dyeable next.
I want to wrap up today by reminding all of our
Oh, wait, there is no boob slider. Okay, then first add a boob slider. And then go make any weapon dyeable. Nobody cares.
players, if you want to use the breeze line, please take the lift.
Okay, you. But what if you're in the resistance, Tico? Do you get a discount? I'm gonna die.
And if you're in the resistance, it's free.
Me, dude. God damn it.
Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos.
I'm down voting
Thanks
it.
so much for watching.
I'm down voting
and
it.
I'll see you in Silesia.
Why did everybody tell me? Bro, this is a good Tico talk. I'll be honest with you. This is a pretty good Tico talk. I think that the reason that people complained about this is this moment right here where he banned them for 3 days, or sorry, AGS banned them for 3 days, and then they didn't take away the obsidian weapons. And my understanding is that those obsidian weapons did not get taken away. The obsidian did not get removed from their account. Because a bunch of the people that macroed it, I'll check around. But like, assuming that they remove you could 3-day ban them and remove the obsidian. Bro, no one deserves a perma ban for it. We don't need to go witch hunting people. But a 3-day ban, slap on the wrist with a mark on the account or whatever you want to do, and then removing all of the obsidian and the weapons from their accounts is good. Is a W. Okay. Anyway, I thought the video was good. I thought it was a W overall. He didn't really talk about PvP systems and stuff and whatnot. But like, I think that people were primarily, because people said you're going to be mad when you hear the Tico talks. I was like, what? I think that people said I was going to be mad because they didn't punish these people correctly. These people should have been, like, again, the items should have been removed from their account, as they did for the other people that they talked about. Like the Arc Boss weapon people, bro. What the hell?